Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 1st November 2023. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. HARDAN, 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 Haribol, TRSV, Nectar, NECTAR, Nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video in this vlog is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is a mere continuation of all that we have been doing in all my previous videos. Kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of all my previous, present, and future videos. Hence, let us continue with the topic of discussion for today's video. For the past few videos, we have been trying to analyze in detail the importance of a living human entity, whether male or female, in achieving his or her life's purpose in a particular lifetime. In other words, when a living entity begins a birth in a particular lifetime, he or she knowingly or unknowingly, deliberately or otherwise, by default or by design, has a particular purpose to achieve in that particular lifetime. This purpose may be beginning in that lifetime, or this purpose may have begun several lifetimes before for that particular living entity, and this particular lifetime is only a continuation of his or her efforts or otherwise in trying to complete that particular purpose. As for example, if there is a living entity who has, like all living entities, whether male or female, been going through an endless cycle of births and deaths. In that particular cycle or journey of that particular living entity of endless lives of birth and death, he or she inadvertently or advertently came across or realized one particular purpose of his or her life. This person tried to achieve that purpose in that lifetime itself. So he or she began his or her efforts to achieve that purpose. However, despite a Herculean efforts, because of that person's luck, karma, destiny, or otherwise, this living entity failed to achieve the end of that purpose. In such a case, his or her superconscious memory stored the efforts and karma of that human living entity and its memories in a storage called Sanchit Karma in the psyche of that particular human living entity. This person passed on without completing that purpose in that particular lifetime. However, the fact remained that his or her efforts during this particular lifetime to complete their purpose would not go waste at any kind cost. One must remember no effort of no living entity goes waste in this material world. It is kept as a karma storage of memory in his or her sanchit karma, and it has some value in the society directly or indirectly. When this particular living entity takes another birth, then he or she continues with the journey that he or she had left halfway in his or her previous lifetime. The memories of the karma of the previous lifetime are stored in the Sanchit karma of the superconscious memory of that particular living entity. In this birth, the same living entity takes a slice of his or her Sanchit karma to be to begin and lay a foundation for this particular lifetime and to start his or her journey in this lifetime from that particular foundation. Just like every building has a foundation from which the other stories are erected, similarly, in the case of karma and destiny, the foundation of a particular living entity's lifetime is known as prarabdha karma. This prarabdha karma is only a slice ready-made taken from his or her past sanchit karma for this particular living entity to begin with in this particular journey in this particular lifetime. As for example, if one living entity wanted to become a business magnate, he will not or she will not become a business magnate in one lifetime. It is not necessary. Only we think that he or she put in Herculean efforts in that particular lifetime for him or her to become a business tycoon or a magnate. Actually, when the purpose of the particular living entity becoming a business magnate originated or sprouted in the psyche of that living entity, then he or she will start that particular lifetime just as a mere worker in a shop. From there, he will or she will graduate into opening his or her own small shop. In the other lifetime, he or she will live as the owner of that shop or even progress further into making another bigger shop or a chain of shops. Slowly but steadily, this person will end that lifetime and store the karma of that particular lifetime in his or her Sanchit karma. The Sanchit karma already has his or her storage of the residue of his karma of the salesman lifetime or the worker's lifetime. So on he or she will progress till he or she becomes a respectable, trustworthy, renowned businessman. Then he or she will go into international trading or national trading, distribution, salesmanship, marketing, knowledge of business, investments, share business, and so on till he or she acquires a sort of skill that keeps growing into the psyche of that particular living entity. Ultimately, a stage comes when this person is poised to launch himself or herself into the big business. He or she will become a takeover artist or a greenfield businessman and start his or her own industry in the society which will make money for the society and for himself. Slowly but steadily, he or she will graduate even here because the journey for that particular purpose does not end here. This person will go on and on till one day he or she reaches the pinnacle of his or her success. We think that a particular person was a genius enough to start his or her purpose in one lifetime and achieve the ultimate in that particular lifetime itself. It is true that several of us are possessed by genius one lifetime or the other or in more than one lifetime. We all know that talent is what all of us individually possess, but genius possesses only a few of us. Even here, the genius chooses the candidate which it wants to possess because of that particular living entity's original karma, destiny, talent, and a combination and permutation of other factors. However, one thing is very certain: a focus towards one's purpose in life is absolutely necessary for a person to make his or her lifetime a success. As the internationally renowned, revered, and worshipped icon and scientist Dr. Abdul Kalam said once, it is not a crime to be born poor, but it is certainly a crime to die poor. In other words, this man said that when you get one particular lifetime to achieve something, you must try to put in as much positive effort as possible for you or for you, that is he or she, to achieve a particular stage in that lifetime which is certainly higher than the one in which you were born. In other words, pure vegetation at the stage when one was born is a crime, whereas putting on efforts to improve is what every living entity must positively and necessarily do to achieve some improvement, whether financial or educational or character wise or any such thing. There are cases where a person was born in a material atmosphere, but later on, thanks to his or her cerebral faculties, knowledge, experience, and maturity, turned spiritual. It is very important for every living entity to turn spiritual one day or the other. It is necessary for that person to embark in a spiritual journey to get self realized, liberated from this endless chain of births and deaths, and finally get delivered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a fully evolved soul. Anyway, coming back to our own video, here we should concentrate on how to achieve the purpose of life in a lifetime, whether it is the first one, the second one, or an umpteenth one. According to the great Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte of France of the 19th century, there are three major factors which define the capacity and capability of any living entity to achieve his or her purpose in a particular lifetime. These three major factors are known as limitless ambition, ceaseless industry, and a determination to succeed. We shall talk about these three factors in detail in the case histories which I am going to recite in this particular video. We have already discussed several case histories which vouch for the truthfulness and the applicability of these three factors in the achievement process of every living entity, male or female, in a particular lifetime. So let us continue. In this case history, we shall start with a particular city which is known as Coimbatore, which is situated in the western side of the state of Tamil Nadu in India. This Coimbatore is a commercial and industrial hub of Tamil Nadu, India. It is inhabited by very ambitious, very capable, and extremely industrious and successful people from all walks of life, mainly agriculture, horticulture, commerce, trading, and industry. Coimbatore is not only famous for its being inhabited by business minded people, but it is also surrounded by equally powerful and popular townships like Pollachi, Erode, Tirupur, Hosur, and Salem. All these places are known for their various kinds of businesses, commerce, and educational institutions. The Vivekananda Group of Educational Industries is situated in Coimbatore alone. Now let us continue with this. In this area, there is a very intelligent, capable, and successful community called counters. These people are essentially landlords, agriculturists, industrialists, distributors, traders, businessmen, and owners of huge shopping commercial complexes, and factories. In this particular area, which is known for its spirituality too, and which has had its own share of very famous internationally renowned spiritualists, was born one particular boy on 30th December of around 1924 or so, and in a very illustrious and affluent family. This boy was christened Subramanian. This particular boy had a title doctor attached to him because of his later achievements. This boy's uncle was a very renowned and revered spiritualist called Swami Chit Bhavananda. Dr. C. Subramanian became the complete name of this boy. This boy was a very brilliant student who did his education, schooling, and graduation in Coimbatore, the capital of Tamil Nadu, Chennai or Madras as it was called then, and probably abroad. This guy concentrated on agricultural technology, physics, chemistry, and other science subjects. Because he belonged to an already affluent and successful family, probably his own peers or his some relatives were already in the local politics. This guy was no exception. Unlike his spiritual uncle Swami Chidbhavananda, this boy joined politics at a very young age. It was the period when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru of the Congress Party was the Prime Minister of India or Independent India. This boy also joined the Congress Party. Somehow, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru took a fancy for this particular boy and he saw promise in him. As has been mentioned before, this guy specialized in agricultural technology, etc. More so because probably his own family was a landlord family which owned several acres of land in Coimbatore. In the 50s and 60s, Pandit Nehru accosted this boy, who was then a young politician, and asked him to concentrate on the agricultural side of our own beloved country, India. This guy was extremely bright. He, along with two or three accomplices, including one scientist called Mr. M.S. Swaminathan, started the Green Revolution, which revolutionized agriculture in Pakistan, India, and abroad too. He is the one person who started to improve the agricultural production in the Indian subcontinent as well as abroad. Now we will take a detour. As Napoleon Bonaparte mentioned, you need three important factors to achieve your purpose in life. Dr. C. Subramanian was no exception. He initially had an ambition to become a successful politician. Because of this, he got educated and strived to become a successful politician and became a member of the ruling party from Coimbatore. Because of his focus on his purpose, this guy was determined to succeed as a successful politician, and that is precisely the reason why he got in touch with the Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Here he got an assignment which was both commercial and agricultural from the political leader Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He was given a very important assignment to complete and make India self sufficient in agricultural production. Because of this, this guy considered this particular purpose as his bull's eye and focused to achieve a shot into that particular bull's eye through his own efforts, endeavors, and through the cooperation of two or three other people, including a well renowned agricultural scientist called Mr. M.S. Swaminathan. That was the reason why he successfully completed the mission of agricultural self sufficiency for India, and this purpose was then called the Green Revolution. Slowly but steadily, this guy joined, graduated to becoming a minister in the chosen cabinet of the Congress government. His popularity and importance increased with the second Prime Minister, Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri, the Congress President, Mr. Kamaraj Nadal, and the third Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. He became so popular that he got several cabinet portfolios as a minister. after the death of Mrs. Indira Gandhi and her own son, the fourth Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. This guy remained in the Congress with other prime ministers, including Mr. Narasimha Rao. One day he was elected or selected to become a governor of Maharashtra. He soon proved his mettle in that particular post also because of his ceaseless industry and his focus towards his bull's eye. This guy kept on climbing the rungs of ladder of a politician in a particular country. That was India. Not only did he successfully handle various posts as a minister in the Indian ruling government, but he also became a well known, revered, and loved governor of the commercial capital of Maharashtra in India. So much so that this man was conferred with several local, national, and international awards and accolades. He is no more with us today, but he proved that one man, if he tries or if she tries, can make his or her lifetime a complete success. This is one thing we must learn from the life of Dr. C. Subramanian. Now we will start talking about another case history. There was one boy who was born on, I think, 15th August 1926 in the temple town of Kumbakonam in Tamil Nadu, India. This boy actually hailed from a village called Mankombu in Tamil Nadu, India. This boy was christened Swami Nathan. His complete name was Mankombu S. Swaminathan. This boy was from a middle class family which was reasonably affluent, and he turned out to be a brilliant student. He did his schooling in various cities in Tamil Nadu, including Kumbakonam and Madras, and he also went abroad to complete his graduation, post graduation, and his PhD. He specialized in physics, chemistry, science subjects, and agricultural technology. Soon this boy was qualified enough and capable enough to become a scientist in the agricultural labs of India. This guy began working on various strains of grains and millets which could come handy and useful in the agricultural production of India. One day in the early 1960s, this guy was contacted by one another equally great person called Dr. C. Subramanian. Dr. C. Subramanian, Mr. M. S. Swaminathan, and some other equally intelligent and capable scientists joined together and took up an assignment to make India agriculturally self sufficient. This was considered a bull's eye by all these people, and this bull's eye was known as Green Revolution. As has been mentioned before, these guys had a purpose in life. It is quite possible that they came to this stage or level in this particular lifetime thanks to their being a part of a purpose of life in this particular category in several lifetimes. In other words, these guys also got some assignment which led to their completing this green revolution process successfully in India. Probably Mr. M.S. Swaminathan, as was the full name of Swaminathan, and Dr. C. Subramaniam and others had been born in several other lifetimes where they strived to reach the bull's eye in agricultural production or in scientific research. We do not know whether they were born as an Indian before or they were born in other parts of this world, but the fact remains that their prarabdha karma was a slice of their own sanchit karma, which laid the foundation for the achievement of these geniuses in their purpose or bullseye in life in this particular lifetime. It is also possible that in this lifetime they decided to have the Green Revolution as their own bullseye. But one doesn't know whether their purpose ends here. Probably they will be progressing further, and despite passing on in this particular lifetime, take another birth in some other part of the world, in some other community, race, caste, or creed, where they will continue with their own purpose of life, which is to do good to the humanity. These people who hailed from some remote part in a state called Tamil Nadu in India and who did not know each other from Adam in the beginning. Thanks to the leadership of the Prime Ministership of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, his innovation, dreams, vision, the support of other prime ministers like Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Narasimha Rao, etc. These two stalwarts in agriculture completed their mission to make India self sufficient in agricultural production. Not only that, they were equally important to other countries in the Indian subcontinent, Asia, and other continents also. Pakistan also benefited from the intelligence and contribution of these great scientists from India who are considered to be India's ratnas or pearls or jewels. We must all take a leaf of the autobiography of these two great men, Dr. C. Subramanian and Mr. M.S. Swaminathan, along with others who helped them and supported them and worked with them, and learned that in our lifetime we should also strive to have a mission in life so that we may focus on that particular mission and consider it our bull's eye, and through ceaseless ambition, endless industry, and determination to reach that particular goal, become successful in a lifetime. By the time we pass on, we may, as Dr. Abdul Kalam said, become better than what we were when we were born. In other words, it is not a crime to be born poor, but it is certainly a crime to die one. Poverty does not necessarily mean financial. Poverty may be financial, educational, experience wise, maturity wise, contribution to the society wise, positive and material or spiritual. Poverty means that if you were born in the material life, then you must strive to climb your ladders of materialism to such an extent that you reach the pinnacle of success in your material life. Once you reach that pinnacle of success in material life, you may graduate into spirituality where you will start from the bottom in the beginning of your spiritual ladder, climbing up that spiritual ladder. Starting from the lowest rung, you must slowly and steadily climb up your spiritual ladder as a monk, a saint, a meditator, a heretic, a rishi, a maharshi, and so on till you reach the top of the spiritual ladder, become self realized, get liberated from this endless cycle of birth and death, and ultimately get delivered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a fully evolved and mature spirit soul. This is all I wanted to talk in this particular video. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular matter in this video. Please give me your own expert views, thoughts, ideas, and opinions so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.